Hey everyone, back here after a year of absence, and I'm here to review the new Lunar Hyperdunk 2012. I got these for 160 at my local Foot Locker, and the RRP for US is 140. So I paid $20 extra because I live in Australia. So let's follow the review format of Nightwing. Starting off with the traction of the shoes. Traction on these are multi-directional, which works quite well on the floor that I played on, which is wooden, but a little bit of dust, not too much. So they grip really well. The only problem which I found was, if you can see the change in color here, you can see that, yeah, the change in color. It's not, I don't think it's a change of material, it's just changing color. Where the grooves here, it runs along, if you're going forward, let's say if you're jabbing forward, this runs towards the grain, if you can say that. It's not running against it. If you're running against it, this here is like this, so it grips the floor, but it's not, it's running smooth. So that's the only area where I experience some slip if you're pushing forward. Other than that, it's quite good. I'll probably rate this probably a 9, I would say. A 9 out of 10. It's not like no traction is perfect. None that I played with. So give these a 9. So moving to the midsole. This year they did a new thing, which is a lunar lunar material. I don't like to call it lunar. I don't know why. It's just called lunar. They have a lunar pod here in front and a lunar pod here in the heel. And the mid-foot material, I think it's Phylon. Not quite sure. I'm just guessing since it's a more tougher material. Like, it's not as soft. It's a little bit denser. So initial try on with these, you can actually feel the different materials, similar to the Adizero type stuff, which are out now. Similar format, so it's softer at the forefoot, a little bit harder in the midfoot, and then same soft material as same in the forefoot. So initial try on and test wear, you can actually feel it, but after a while, you don't really feel it. I played in, actually ran around and stuff in these yesterday for a good 4 hours. So I ran, jumped, and slided, like sideways movements and stuff like that. Today practiced and warmed up in them for about an hour, and then came game time. So a good 5 hours on these, and I think the cushion is quite good, but it's not as soft as the lunar running shoes. What I mean is I think that the lunar material is either thinner or they're softer. Let's just say that. Because if I land really hard in these, I can actually feel the floor or feel the outsole. So it's like you're hitting a hard material. Whereas I jump really hard, I land really hard on the lunar runner shoes. You still feel the lunar material, so it's really soft. You never feel the ground, and so that could be an improvement. I don't know if it's on purpose, yeah, with the like lunar material, but I guess it could be improved. That's one thing. And it runs lower to the ground, like it rides lower to the ground, whereas the previous Lunar Hyperdunk 2011s, they ride a little bit higher because of the Zoom and Phylon combined. Initially, I didn't like the higher ride with the 2011s, but eventually the Phylon condensed and it runs pretty much the same as the Lunar Hyperdunks right now. So they're both pretty, they're not low, You can't say they're riding really close to the ground, but it's definitely better than like when I first got them, at least. So cushion wise, I'll probably rate these 8.5 to 9, something like that. So moving to the upper, the heel cover is not there anymore. If you see the old ones, it's plastic, so you can press them in this way, but you can't bend them this way because of the hard plastic that they have. But on the new ones, they don't have that anymore. It's just, I think it's maybe a cardboard material. So obviously you can press them this way, but this way you can actually bend it down as well. Whereas the old ones you can't because of plastic, like I said previously. But the heel notches, if you remember, they had 2 heel notches here, see that, like here in this area, and they don't have that anymore. But they have a sculpted material. So on the heel notch area, it's still it's a little bit pronounced as to the other material. So it's still quite good. I didn't experience any slip out of the shoe, so I guess it worked. Not too sure. I'm saying it worked. Now moving on the ankle. The ankle here, if you can see, is a hollow section, like so it's just a mesh and then a hole and then another mesh on the outside. That's where your ankle stays, and that's where it will go to if you lace them up properly. And the other part, the outside part of the holes, they're really soft material, which is quite good. Even if you tie them really hard, tie them up really hard and really tight, it still feels really soft. So it's quite good on that department. And the whole sleeve, it's really soft, like soft material. Like it's the same material as like this whole white material underneath the new generation Flywire. It's really soft, so if you pull them really tight, you can't actually feel the wires. So compared to the old ones, the previous 2011s and 10s, the 10s are just plain bad. They're just plastic. I hated them, even though I wore them. This is like a nylon material, and still a little bit feels a little bit plasticky, even though it's nylon. It's a little bit meshy, but it's still a little bit plasticky, and I don't really like it. Well, not as much as the new ones anyway. And with the eye stays, if you can see, the new ones have grooves. So there's a groove here, there's a groove here, and there's a groove here. I think they're supposed to work like when you bend the material, they're supposed to fold up, so it gives you a lot more flex, whereas the old one is just a straight material. So when you flex, it either goes in or out, so it might pinch your foot, whereas these ones, they don't really do that. And the front toe area here, if they did cut out a section like this, it will probably give the breathability a little bit better, whereas they have nothing here right now. And if you remember my last review on the 2011s, I said that the tongue mesh is really thin, and when you pull the laces up really tight, you can actually feel the lace pressures. These ones, they don't, you can't feel them anymore. Maybe because it's a thicker tongue material, like tongue mesh. But I would say after a while, it will still just become a thin piece of material, and you probably want to change laces, like to a softer lace. I don't know. But that's my estimate of what's going to happen. So you might want to change that. The fit. These fit quite well, even though I have the same problem with basically all shoes, is my toe, my big toe is sort of towards the middle a bit, so there's a little bit of dead space here on this side. So when I move around and push towards the ground, push off the ground from here, for I guess the toe side, I don't know, yeah, the big toe side, the inner side, I guess, your foot will slip this way a bit, and that'll feel slightly weird, but I guess you'll get used to it after a while. Other than that, it's actually quite well, and the heel lockdown, which I forgot to say, it's, if you remember, if you had the 2010s, you remember there was an extra notch or extra lace loop inside the material, and whereas the 2011s, they don't provide you that because it's one straight thing. This one here, it gives you sort of like an in-between sort of thing. So this lace loop, it's the one that pulls your whole foot down, pulls it towards the heel, so your foot is on the shoe itself, so you don't get that heel slip. And that's, I guess, that's an upgrade from the previous 2011 version, which they took out. I don't know why, but they did. So that's a plus. Breathability. These on the outer is quite good, and forgot to say the fit. On the arch area, it's still not as pronounced as what I would like, and not as pronounced as the running shoes. Because of my flat foot, it still turns into it a little bit, so I might have to adjust that myself. Okay, so going back to the breathability of the shoes, on the outer side, it's really good because everything is meshed on the inside. If you can, I don't think you can see it. I don't know how to adjust it. Yeah, if you can see that, then you can see it, but if you don't, I'm sorry, but you have to just grab a pair and see. On the outside, it's all meshed on the inside, but on the inner side of the shoe, it's there's where the sizing label is, it's like a solid mesh or solid material, so the breathability, like from here upwards, and it's not, the holes don't actually work, so it only works from here, so about half of that flywire stuff, it's just solid material, so air don't go through those parts. But breathability, I'll probably give it a 8. Yeah, probably an 8, because of this area you can't get air into it. And other than that, it's a quality built shoe, performance wise and look wise as well, I guess. Overall, I'll probably give these a 8.5, a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'll see if I can update you guys with a few more games, give you a part 2 of the performance review. I might give you a link down below to a Nightwing's video. He'll probably give you a more detailed information, and a link to his site, which will give a really, I don't know, like a really good description of how he feels about it. Okay, latest.